All right, welcome back. This is the video using Microsoft Excel that's going to use the data analysis tool pack to do what we had done before. So just a few things to highlight right away. We had found that we were going to need the x average, the y average, the standard deviation of x, the standard deviation of y, and the correlation r in order to help us make this formula y equals a plus bx, where b was equal to the correlation r times the standard deviation of y divided by the standard deviation of x, kind of like the slope, and a was going to equal the y average minus b times the x average. So we had done all that by hand in the very first video, and I'm going to show you again in Excel, not just doing these things like saying, oh, here I want to find the average of x average would be A2 to A17. And the same thing for B. And the standard deviation. Remember, when you're working in Excel, there's the old one, or we're looking at a sample, so S, so standard deviation of same thing. So there's all of those statistics that I had before. R, if you remember, was choral. So it takes the correlation between two data sets and wants the array. And I want to put y. I don't think it shouldn't matter if I use x or y. We'll try it both ways. So I'm just going to do x A2 to A17, comma, and then the y ones is B2 to B17. I'll close that, and yeah, same correlation. Doesn't matter if I did it the other way as well. We talked about that in the first one, so I should know that. And then A2 to A17. Doesn't matter which way you do it, same correlation. All right, and then we built this formula by taking all of these things together. We said, oh, here I'm going to do the R times my y average, or my standard deviation of y, divided by the standard deviation of x. And I need to tell it times, so let me do that again. Whoops. Equals r times, that's what I missed before, oops, and this should be 24. And it's B23, that's the standard deviation of y, divided by B22, that's standard deviation of x. And there was my slope. And then this one, if you remember, was equal to the x average, so that's B20 minus, oh, not the x average, y average, so y average, B21 minus the b that we just got a second ago, right above me, put it in parentheses, times the b, what am I doing, minus the average x. So yeah, if you look over here, y average minus b times the average x, so that was the 3.5. All right, so same things we can do with Excel, just like we did in the last one. I'm going to use the data analysis. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to, first of all, just show the correlation again. So correlation says what data are you working with. So I'm going to select this data, and there is a label in the first row, and I'm going to output the range to be here, and then hit OK. And there it gives me the same correlation that I had found previously. Another thing that we're going to do is also called the Descriptive Statistics, and this is a really good one because it shows you a lot of the things that you need. So Descriptive Statistics, same idea as my input range. Here it is again, my input range there. It's grouped by columns, data labels in the first row. My output range I am going to put right below it. And then I want summary statistics. I'm just going to leave all of that alone and then hit OK. And now if you look, it gives me a number of statistics for both of these, and I'm just widening these out so I can see it. Interesting, doesn't label a mode in here because none of the numbers repeat, so it says not available. But if you look, here's the mean, exactly what we had down here, the x average and y average matching up. Here is the median. The mode is nice. It gives you the minimum and maximum if you remember from before what we were working with. But the other one it gives you right away is the standard deviation. So it gave us really 4 of the things that I needed in order to calculate this R. All right? So, or not calculate that R, to calculate this equation. Okay, so the last one I want to show you is the one that throws all of this together. Okay, typically if I were to take this data and highlight it and say, oh, I want to insert a chart. So let's go and find a chart, like a scatter chart. I would insert a scatter chart and say, oh man, you know, this really looks like it's linear. All right, so since I know it looks linear, let's actually make the linear regression line. All right, so I am going to do data analysis one last time. I'm going to do data analysis, and in this case, I'm going to do a linear regression, or here is regression. Just making sure. So I'm going to hit the regression. My x input range and my y input range, notice it wants them separate. So my y input range is here. Whoops. And my x input range is here. Normally I type these things because I don't like highlighting. But A1 to A17, I have labels. I'm not going to mark any of those things. I'm going to output right here. And I want to have the line fit plot. All right, that's going to give me the line that I have there. So once I'm done with that, hit OK. It gives me a lot of those statistics that I need, and it also gives me this line fit plot that I'm going to make a little bit bigger for us over here. Oh, don't want to do that. And I'm going to edit some of those things a little bit later. But with this data, now it gives me all of these blue marks that you see here. That was the actual observed. That was the data that was collected. These red ones are the predicted, where we predicted data to be. All right, and that's also listed kind of in this summary output. But the one summary output that I want you to notice that we needed was here was that R. That was our correlation. You know, I could find it, you know, just punching it in and whatnot, but I needed to have the correlation in order to put all of these together. So correlation, standard deviation, and mean. All right, so one more thing I want to do with this, though, and just to make it a little bit better for me, is I want to edit this chart. So let's format the plot area. Oh, maybe not like that. 1 second. All right, sorry, they changed it in the new version of it. I'm going to actually use the add to add a chart element, not format it. And I'm just going to add a trend line. All right, and the trend line is going to be this predicted trend line, and it throws it right in here. If you look in here, underneath this little option, you notice I have different types of trend lines. Like this one is linear. But I'm going to put some more options on here. Oh, where is it? Oh, maybe not. Let's click on this trend line and format the legend entry. I thought there was a way to make it the actual equation. So give me 1 second and I will jump back with the equation. All right, got it now. I knew I had to go in and edit things. So I'm going to click on the chart. Remember, I added the element up here, just the trend line. You can add it somewhere else too. What I should also show you is that when I clicked on the chart, notice I have my chart tools up here. Under design, I can add the chart elements like I did before, but what I really want to do is format. And I'll show you why. I'm going to format And I'm going to drop down in this selection to look at this trend line, the predicted fat trend line. All right. And so now that I have that, I'm going to select this format selection, and it pulls up a bunch of options here. And what I want to do is I want to display the equation on the chart. And you could also display the R-squared value on the chart. Really nice for both of those. And you can move this around. So I'm just going to throw it over here. So there is the equation that I have there. So again, you can get to that a couple of different ways when you're working on this thing. Like if I just go ahead and do the chart elements, or where was it? Right click, format the chart area. It will bring me up with a bunch of different things here as well. And I can change in this drop down to predicted fat trend line. All right. And then be able to do some of those things before. So I'm not actually seeing it. Oh, there we go. Underneath the trend line options, you can display the equation on there. But that gives you that same equation that we did before. That really does the linear regression, tells you the equation, and then allows you to go at it that way. So what you really need to be able to do is using also understanding what that equation is telling you about the slope and the intercept, but also using software in order to find that linear regression, to find that trend line, and be able to plot that equation. Once you have that equation, we'll talk about using it to predict things going forward.